What's the best thing you've seen this week?
Oh no. Hey, cars.
Oh, yes.
Probably this white Mustang behind me.
That thing's really got
For
you
me,
going.
well, when you get a car in the shop and then you have a customer, you want to get kind of like look it over, do an initial look over, and get a list together of like this is what we see right now, before we start turning. And so I was kind of nervous about. I was kind of putting it off until the last day as far as like looking at it because sometimes you see stuff you don't want to see. So got it up in the air. Wife was cleaning it off, and yeah, there's still red oxide primer on the bottom. Like you could clean off large majorities of it with like wax and grease remover and like some rubbing compound, and it would look like brand new. It's pretty nuts.
Hmm.
There's like a small hole in the bottom of the or passenger wheel opening at the way at the bottom in the back. That's kind of a notorious spot, but I mean, like you've worked on Mustangs, those in the inner aprons where the apron parts overlap, there's usually like swelling and those are always rusted out. These are like cherry. Like everything that's all the bad spots where I know where to look on a Mustang, those spots are all great. So it was like finally, you know,
Once in a while,
finally
you
a
got to get a
car that's
break.
yeah, and it's a six-cylinder car, so it needs another torque box put in it, but he's gonna put a hot small block in it. I don't know. He's really into high revving small blocks, like a naturally aspirated carbureted small block. So that's kind of the route he's going. He's more into the vintage racing. Like it's not necessarily going to have like a vintage race car with leaf springs. It's going to have a coilover, link system in the back, but it'll still be utilizing as much stock Mustang stuff as we possibly can. So I dig the vibe. We're just kind of like going over the build and like what he's expecting out of it, what his vibe is actually, what he's looking for. Because we kind of talked about putting it, getting a chassis for it potentially, and he's like, I just don't want to go. Like that's not the car I envision. He's like, I get it. That's the next step, but he's just not. That's not the car he wants. In the end, he wants more of a little closer to a vintage race car kind of a feel
That's cool.
as far as like aesthetically not chopping with the car. He's like, he still wants a Mustang in the end. And if there's a problem, he's like, and that's a Mustang problem. I'm like, okay, well, I get it. So he's just trying to be like in the middle of all that territory, which is the suspension that he was looking at was street and track, which is some pretty nice stuff. And it was that we were looking at it and troubleshooting some potential problems, but they were all pretty minimal. He's asking me about, oh, what about moving this frame rail a little bit or just cutting out a little piece of there? I'm like, that's like small potatoes for me, man. That's super small potatoes. So
Right.
yeah, it was good conversation, and yeah, definitely looking forward to digging into that. We won't be able to dig into that until like I'm hoping February, probably March, somewhere in there. But we just got it in the building, so we can kind of get our minds wrapped around it. If we have some time, we can start disassembly and then that stuff like that.
That's cool. I kind of like the idea of, keeping the vintage car still kind of vintage. Obviously, it'll be better with having, coils and stuff in the back, but
Mm.
still make you feel like you're driving an old car.
Yeah, and I think that's yeah, I think he wants it to feel like a road, like a race car on the road, like a vintage race car for the road, for
Right.
the road around here. I guess. So, I mean, when we first started talking, I'm like, well, yeah, everybody wants a fast car on the road, and then what does that actually mean for you, and what are you going to do with it? Sometimes asking somebody what you're going to do with the car seems like they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, what the fuck does that matter? Kind of a thing, but um, you know what I'm saying? Like they're like, well, what does it matter to you? Just build the car how I want it. It's like, well, there's things and decisions that you can make along the way that would make things better or worse, or like help the vibe, hurt the vibe.
Yeah, and you want everybody to be on the same page.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean, if the whole idea is to make the customer happy, that I mean, the car is the equation to make them happy. So you just have to, it's a balance for sure.
Sounds
He's
like a
like,
lot
I
of math.
want you to have be, yeah, yeah. He's like, I want you to be proud of so proud of it that where like you're like you would take it somewhere and say you did this. I'm like, well, that's what we do try and do with everything we do here, but it's awesome that you're coming from that standpoint as well. So
Right.
yeah, it's looking forward to digging into that. I mean, we next month, yeah, next early next month, I'm gonna be digging into that Chevy truck finally, the 58. So
Oh, that'll be fun.
also looking forward to digging into that. Yeah, yeah, fucking cars, you know?
Roadster shop chassis, right? On that one?
Yeah, yep.
All new sheet
Yeah, I
metal.
was talking to the customer last night. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, it's fun to just have new stuff. Like you're not dealing with rusty cars where, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think there's a place in the world where replacing the bottom half of a car could be kind of satisfying, but it's still just, replacing sheet metal that was there and trying to be as accurate as possible to what it's supposed to be and not like taking liberties. The liberties is where I like being.
Well, I think this is a great transition for two things. One, I'm so glad I moved out of the Rust Belt.
No, no, dude. Yeah, you have
Everything I work,
anxiety just looking at a car.
yeah, everything I work on, it's just like, oh, I guess got to crack this bleeder on this 25-year-old brake caliper, click, and it just comes loose. You know what I mean? It's just wonderful. But the best thing I have seen this week is I found what I've been jokingly calling the Japanese version of me. Uh, there is this. I don't know if I sent it to you. There's a guy that took an '86 Corolla body that's like complete Swiss cheese, destined for the junkyard, and then he built a tube chassis for a rotary on it, and he's like basically just slipping what's like the roof and like the door frames over and then a little bit of the quarter panels, and then he made some like wild over fenders for the rear that like kind of like on my Tundra, how the bedsides are like slash cut up and you don't have like the full body coming down. Well, he's got
Yeah.
that cut into the back because the whole back was Swiss cheese on it. I'll have to include a picture on here. It's hard to explain, but it is like
I might have seen, is it just like, it looks like some garage kids putting a wide body on a car? I might have seen it. I'm not sure.
it's a the channel is Ishikawa Body. It's like a body shop in Japan. They have like
Oh, oh,
70,000 subscribers. I guess it's like a van shop. They're like he said in the one video that he's a van builder. But I mean
oh, sure.
it's
Hands are
not for
huge there.
it's not for everybody, the channel, because it's mostly in Japanese. There was a part of it where he was must have like talked into his phone and then recorded Google Translate, and it was like reading in the AI voice in
Oh, yeah,
English.
yeah.
And so like some of the words he'll be like, it's a pipe chassis instead of like a tube chassis and stuff like that. So but um it's definitely not like a high quality entertainment watch, but for me, as someone who loves taking something that's completely like gone and bringing it back, like something that's you don't have to be held up by like that 67 you got. The thing is so clean, like it would be a shame to really like hack a car like that up. Like you want to kind of utilize some of that clean
God,
body.
it's a six-cylinder car. You can, that's what I
Yeah,
was just telling
yeah,
the
yeah.
customer, like, it's the nicest platform to cut up because nobody's gonna be like, shouldn't have done that. It was, because it's a 67 coupe six-cylinder car. I
Right.
mean, but I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Sorry.
But no, no, no. What I'm getting at though is like I like when it's not so nice and like such a fancy model that there's like you're not held up by the stigma of the value of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
car. It's just you just got free reign because it's a junkyard car. Um
Hmm.
and I don't know, I enjoyed that with like that Fair Lady Z I had. It was an imported right-hand drive Datsun and the value on those things was just going crazy, but it was so rotten I could just do whatever I pleased with it and
Wow.
at least it had a life again.
It'd be
I'm
sweet to do that that uh that Corolla body that's on Alibaba. 'Cause it's such a like that's like a hatchback, right? It's like a
Yep.
pretty hunchbacky car. Like to mid-engine that car, like buy that body and just cut, it's brand new. Fuck, that's got my I just like crossed my mind right now. Like, man, that'd be like you're so far ahead. And it'd be kind of quirky because it's that car, because it has a following. So there'd be people that are like, "What are you doing?"
I sent you a picture. I don't know if you got your phone on silent, but um
I do.
What a good
Oh,
podcaster.
I,
Phone on
I have
silent.
not seen it. It's pretty nuts.
But there was a video where they had the car sitting at some show or whatever that they had some other vehicles at, like a drift track or something. And
Sure, sure, sure.
there were there was like two or three guys and they were just grabbing the tube chassis in the back and picking the back of the car up, and then they walked to the front and then they picked the whole front of the car up with like the engine in it and everything. Like it's that lightweight. It's just, I don't know. I like to see people having fun with stuff, and sometimes when you have a completely rotten car, and it seems like from what I gathered from the video, the car had some history. So like with somebody they knew that was a big drifter, and maybe it
Oh,
sat in
sure.
a field or something like that. So they're almost like breathing life into kind of something that was formerly cool.
No, I dig that. That's pretty cool. That's a lot of work though. Holy cow. I always think about even because Fast Freddy, he did a Corvair. We put LS in a Corvair, and but it's the second gen Corvair. It's like, man, it would be cool to do a first gen Corvair and kind of do the same thing and have two in the same area, mid Wisconsin, have like two LS Corvairs, what different gens too. That'd be kind of cool. But man, it's just a lot of work. I want to admit it in something, but I think building is just going to be a headache,
Yeah. Um,
especially to get it to handle. If you're going to build a chassis, to get it to actually handle good, it's going to be a handful, I think.
there was not that long ago on Marketplace. I wonder if it sold. Somebody had a Porsche 911 Targa body that like they put on
Mm.
top of like a Blazer frame or something because it was rusty, and they were selling the body for like under $1,000.
Oh
No
shit!
title, no title, but I don't know
Yeah,
if you
that's
know that.
still, you could figure it out.
Yeah, pretty much nowadays it seems I'm actually seeing people advertise for it, but if you open an LLC in Nevada and there isn't anything red flags on the VIN number, you or not Nevada, Montana, you can just register the vehicle in Montana and then you can get a permanent plate for really cheap, and then you can register stuff without a title. And get a title for it that way. If it's a certain age and there's no red flags, like it was a stolen car or whatever, you can go that route and re-register an older vehicle pretty easily. It seems like for whatever reason Montana's real lenient on it. So
You can filter a car through Michigan and get um, what was it? Salvage title removed from the title, like the salvage part removed. If you filter it through, there's some way to do that through Michigan. But I know in Wisconsin, it's easier now than it ever has been to get an old car and get that doesn't have a title and get a title for it. Like it used to be a pain in the ass, almost impossible, and now it's actually possible. As there's just a route you have to go. I mean, I'm sure there's less resources now since there's like government cuts and shit now, but because everything seems to be slower than it ever has been. But there's still a route to get to it. You're not up
I
shit creek if you have a car that doesn't have a title. There's ways of doing it. It's not necessarily going to be a fun way if the patrol have to come and do an inspection on it because that's never wanted.
mm-mm. uh do you remember back in the day at the swap meets where there would be the booths set up where they sold old car titles for collectors?
Documents. They're documents.
Yeah, document collectors.
Well, they got raided at Iola for that. There's somebody that got like they took everything, confiscated everything. I thought that was
That
Iola.
that might be specifically where I was talking about. Maybe not.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah. It was either Iola. It was in Wisconsin. It was either Iola or the Spring Jefferson. I can't remember one of the two.
Yeah, I don't know if I showed it to you, but I had a 25 5 window coupe Model T body when the last couple years I was
Oh,
living in Wisconsin. I traded a muzzle loader for it.
oh, that's a good
Uh
trade.
this guy, I found it on, I don't know if it was Craigslist or Marketplace. But we drove to this middle of nowhere town. I think it was somewhere near Medford. It wasn't that long of a drive. But the guy was living on his family's, like, I don't know what the word, like a homestead. No running water, no electricity. It was like his grandparents built it in the early 1900s. No running water, no electricity. He had a solar panel to charge his phone, and then I
Well,
think he had a solar panel water pump on his well to pump some water out every day. Like he charged the battery, and then he would pump out a little water on the battery. But
why does he
I don't
have
know.
a? Why do you have a car? Why do you have an old car? It's crazy.
And the 25 Model T had been sitting next to in the woods there, the body next to the creek. Like there was literally 3 feet from it where there was running water, and it was sitting in the ground. And he said that the neighboring property had a uh, another parted out Model T, and then there was a um, like a complete one when the people, because I think his grandparents and then maybe some other family owned that neighboring one, and so they think that this was like a parts car, like because back in the day, if you had a couple of Model Ts and then one breaks down, then you just start robbing everything off of it. And I think what happened
Yeah,
was they just kept robbing everything off of this, and he had it listed for pretty cheap, but he wanted to trade if possible. And we'll just say for the story, I traded him a muzzle loader because that seems like what you would trade a guy that lives in a no water and power house, probably looking for
right.
some food. But yeah, so I had that 5 window coupe body, and I was doing a couple things with it. I didn't have a title for it. I wasn't totally sure how to do it. I wondered if one of those document collectors would have something, but I kind of just figured I'd have to go through, one of the state channels to get a title for an old
It's
car when
usually
it's home
easier
built.
to just if you can find a document that's close to what you have, especially Ford bodies. There's no numbers on them anywhere. You just like, this is my car. Nobody's gonna know.
Yeah, I ended up I was gonna drag it down here when we moved, but I had so much other stuff with more monetary value and I didn't want to make 2 trips. So I sold it to a kid that I worked with to build with his son. It's probably just sitting in his yard like it sat in my yard as a yard ornament, but
Mhm.
after 80 years sitting next to a creek, it's not like it was going to get worse. It wasn't the floors were gone, but like the firewall and the aprons and the doors and everything were salvageable. So
Sure.
it was a salvageable rat rod. I wanted to do like a tall T with it or something. I don't know, something
Tall
about it.
tees are pretty rad.
Yeah, I don't
Like
know.
bar super low, but the roof is still remaining tall. That's pretty rad. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, the Model T stuff is just so like it was flooded so much that you can buy a done Model T for 10 grand and
Oh
change
yeah.
it to what you want. You know? It's pretty nuts. The one customer I had with a Model A, he's gotten it back last winter or so. He built a Model T with his dad before that, and he's like, I've lost my. He's like, I thought I could build it and at least get my money back out of it. He's like, no. Like, well, it's hard to do. Like, if that was a business model, everybody would be doing it, you know? Like there's so many TV shows that everybody would have caught on, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how many Model T bodies were made, but they seem to be plentiful.
All of them. I think people stop building them just because they're not like monetary wise, they're just not worth anything. Also, they're very tiny. I know one guy that's making from Lacrosse, Texas name. He bought my camper. God damn, can't remember his name.
Well, while you're thinking, I just looked it up, and apparently there were 15 million Model Ts made.
Ah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
But that's like, but that's from those are all Model T. Like, didn't
Yeah,
they
yeah,
make Model
that's
Ts for 10 years or something?
from 1908 to 1927, so basically 20 years.
Years, yeah.
Or
So
yeah,
that's a lot of different versions of them. But yeah, that's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. Only 4.8 million Model A's. Obviously, that's spanning all the touring models and the ones that people don't want.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to think though, twice as many Model Ts as Model A's, so they're not going to be as valuable. They're old and they're cool, but
Can't remember that guy's name, and it's he usually listens, so he's gonna be like, "Hey, what the fuck, man?" Uh, but I'm bad with names, so sorry, dude. Um, but anyways, uh, yeah, I don't know.
good story.
Fucking cars. I think I'm gonna carve out between. I'm doing it. I'm committing myself. between Christmas and New Year's, I'm working on my car.
That's beautiful.
Call me out on it if I don't do it, right?
All right. The podcast after Christmas that we're going to say, Quintin, how's your car coming?
We're going live. Fuck it, we're going live.
I actually kind of want to figure out if I can, without bogging our internet down, try to live stream this while we're
Yeah.
recording because I think we'd get a lot more traffic if we were doing that.
Yeah. I also just realized that I can put my computer on my Pexto like anvil stand thing, and I could actually like right now we wheel it around, so you could do
Hey,
some, you know what I'm saying, some
yeah,
show and go. So yeah, there's some. I think that'd be cool to do something like that. As far as like even like could do a little bit of like, what are you doing here? You know, let's move over to the car, kind of a thing.
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. All in time, right, man? Uh,
I think this is episode 13. So,
oh,
that being said,
scary.
I think we've outlasted the majority of podcasts.
That's true. There's probably like 10 million of them that get to 10 episodes, and that's it.
Yeah, there's millions and millions of podcasts, but most don't make it um more than I think it's like more than 5 and then a really small percentage make it past 10 episodes and we're talking hour and a half episodes, so or hour plus on ours most of them. So we're doing all right.
Yes.
Not that that was
So
exciting to hear about.
did you do any three wheeling or anything with your truck this last week?
I don't know if I can three
Mm.
wheel it. It seems like my leaps might be tight enough that they're acting because leaf springs act like a rear sway bar.
Right.
Um, so it seems like they might be tight enough that they don't let the rear articulate enough to let me pick one up with the travel I have.
I'm thinking you got to put some weight in the back, get to a parking lot, and just turn and go.
Yeah. I think if I don't want to do it in my cul-de-sac. But I think if I
Yeah,
was
that's
in like an open cul-de-sac and I could just crank on
true.
it and then like keep pushing it up and pushing it up and pushing it up, I could probably get it off the ground. But I've tried like just in like going to the end of a road with a big median and then doing like the U-turn around
Mhm.
and seeing if it would but it would rather just spin tires than pick it up. So it is interesting with the front end even as high as I have it now. It seems like man, I can just break the tires loose like so easy.
Interesting.
I don't
Too
know.
much power.
My torque curve's really weird because I can break the tires loose, but then it's like they'll spin, but it doesn't give me like a lot of RPM in the burnout.
Sure.
So it's like a
That
lackluster
could be a
burnouts.
gearing thing too, though. Kind of where you might have like a sweet spot with your gearing, with your tires and gearing and shit.
Yeah. Um, not that I really want to burn $250 a piece tires up all that fast.
Yeah, you don't know, but it's fun for a little while.
I think I've been working on my 1 year of videos of building the truck and putting it together as like one super edit. Um, I've been working
How
on
long
that
is
all
this
week.
gonna be?
I've been working on it since last Sunday, and I am up to 5 minutes. I got about 6 hours of editing in, and I have about 5 minutes of video.
You're gonna tell me an hour.
No, because I want. So I'm gonna do some extended ones. I've had build videos like vlog style. As I've been going, like I did like the engine build, and I did this like an engine teardown
Interesting.
video, an engine build video. I haven't done like the suspension video specifically because I wanted to have you have to have a beginning and an end. Otherwise, it's hard to watch. Otherwise, you're just watching a guy wrench on or weld or whatever. So,
What do you mean? That's what YouTube is. Pretty sure that's all of what it is. You're just being
yeah,
hard on yourself.
I'm always hard on myself, but it's to get people to want to watch the series. I'm doing a like a supercut where I'm just doing like a really punchy. This is what my build is. This is what it cost me. This is the end result. Starting with the blown up truck last November, so literally 1 year ago, um, to my wife making the mistake of telling me to build the truck, to where we're at now, and I got the price list exactly what I spent. You know what I
Full
mean?
full regret mode. Huh?
So then people, if they liked it, if they come in, they watch, a 6, 7 minute video, and they get to see this truck go from start to begin, and it's just a lot of clips. It's not really
Sure,
focused
sure.
on the build.
Just keeps you like entertained. I get that.
Um, then if they like
It's
that,
funny.
then there's going to be a lot more. But I'm going to do some long videos on like the suspension specifically, and things like that. Obviously, I already did pretty much everything up to that on the channel. So, um, I guess what I was trying to get at is I'm planning to go throw the sticky mount on the truck and do some more driving. There's kind of a back area in the neighborhood where there's a really wide median that I think goes down and up a bunch, and I'm thinking about just ripping median with the action camera on the windshield pointing at the driving. I don't really have a chase vehicle, somebody to record me, like driving next to me while I'm off
Uh,
road. But I have somebody to do it, just not right now. They
let's
they're
see.
busy.
Well,
They're busy this weekend, but I'm gonna go get a couple more action shots and pretty much wrap this thing up. So it's fun driving it. I sent you that suspension traveling video where um
mhm.
I was driving it and I hit off road and I felt like, oh, it's not really cycling that much. And then I looked at the video and it was, going. I probably had wasn't going crazy off road, but I probably had 6 inches of travel throughout the just that little patch, and it was like, oh, it did not feel like that. So, it's definitely working. So that's a bonus.
Yeah, if you were to take a stock vehicle over what you did, it would have been like lumber wagon, dude.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the leaves in the back, it's still kind of stiff, and the truck's really light in the back. I'm gonna move my battery. I'm gonna build an aluminum battery box, put that in the bed. I'm gonna build or I want to do some other stuff in the bed. Like I talked before about building a storage at the back behind the rear axle
Mhm.
under the spare tire, and then I got to build the tailgate, the tube tailgate that holds
I
the
mean,
spare tire.
I think until you get that like actual like real world weight, like the right weight over the rear wheels, even to where you're probably not going to be able to haul much. That's going to be when it's going to ride the best.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they always hang the spare tire kind of off over the back bumper,
Right.
because they want as much weight in the back to kind of keep the truck level through when it's working.
Right.
Because that's hard. The rear end's so light compared to the front. I think my truck's got about 1,000 pounds more in the front almost than the back.
There are guys that
Stock.
mid-engine these things.
What they do is they just sink the engine so far into the firewall. So basically, their
They just
whole
fix
engine
that.
is mounted to a plate that's behind the suspension, the front suspension. So you're sitting next to it almost. It's like being in a cab over van or something. Or yeah, they
Sure.
kind of almost have it like a van where the engine's like between you.
Words like that too.
But
Like
um,
the H100s, I thought were kind of like that too.
yeah,
Anyway,
we're getting there.
oh,
We're getting
so
there.
I just got the other side of the Mustang. I got the bottom of the wheel wells all done, bottom of the quarter panel, the rear valance, the rear bumper bolts, got them aced and shaved off. What else did I get done?
Why don't you show us how
Took a
good
lot
your
of
anvil stand works and turn towards the Mustang? Oh, there it is.
pictures. We're back. I don't want to move everything. It's gonna be like trying to balance it.
No, no, that was fine. So you're getting
Yeah,
more
yeah.
and more welding
Figure-
done.
Yeah, I have like different welding masks and helmets and stuff that I'm trying to not overly wreck my neck on. So it's been a lot of it's been a lot of figuring out like what my neck can handle, welding, stretching my neck back out. But it's getting a lot better, which I'm thankful for. I can definitely see where people can work all day and all night. I could probably pull that off, but I have to do a lot of stretching before and afterwards just to pull it off. Because I'm getting old. Gonna be 40, 40.
It's almost time to give up.
I know. I was thinking about having a party at the shop, and then last weekend I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to have a party. This weekend I'm like, kind of want to have a party. I don't know. I always envisioned maybe having like a band here or something like that, but that seems like way too much dicking around.
I don't know.
You can just turn the music on. It seems a lot easier.
Yeah. I don't know. You only get
I got
40
that.
one time. That's a pretty big one.
Yeah. Then there's 50 and 60. It's all like 40's the I don't know. It doesn't seem like everybody's like when I was growing up, 40's like, oh my God, it's over. I don't know. I look at kids now and I'm like when I say kids, I'm saying like
25.
18-year-old,
Oh.
21-year-olds and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm not that far away from that, but I am. It's crazy.
I actually noticed that a lot of the guys that I talk to in their 20s, sometimes they struggle because they look and like we'll talk to each other and we like talk to each other on the same level and they feel like we should be pretty close. And then they have
I've
these
had the same
struggles.
experience
They have these struggles
where
because they'll be
they
like,
they
well,
feel like they
you have,
should be farther than they are.
yeah. And it's like, hey, listen, I've got literally over a decade more than you do right now. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've had the same experience with a couple guys that are, in their early 20s, and it's you almost saying the exact same things. Like, I need to do this, this, and this. Or saying the same thing, and like you said, 20 years difference, and it's like, calm down, kid. And they're not kids, they're adults. So it's hard to say that.
yeah, I always try to like um build up the teams that I work in wherever I work and like sometimes I'll have people over and the one time I had a couple over and they were 21 and 20, right? And they come walking in the house and they're like, "Oh my gosh. You got a nice house and stuff." And like they think, it's hard because he looks, we talk to each other like buddies, we work at the same place, we're doing kind of the same job, and then he walks in the house and it's not that I have a crazy house, but it's a way better house than I had when I was 20. And they'll be like, and I looked and I went, you work hard, and in 10 years you could probably buy a house like this too. Like it's literally the timeline I was on, but
I've had the
it's
same
hard.
experience with a buddy of mine. I said something about, you know, going back to my house for lunch or something, and said something about, I said, oh, it's just a whole freshie. Nice. He was saying something about having a house or buying a house and them being too expensive right now. I'm like, I agree. I think they're too expensive. I'm just lucky I bought my house when I did because it was, a lot more affordable than what houses are now by about half. And he's like, well, at least you have a house and this and that. It's like, well, I didn't, when I was 20, in my like 21 to 25, I didn't think that was even obtainable.
Right.
Looking at houses was like very intimidating. Like, and you're going to sign your life away but it was under 100 grand. You're like, just losing your brain over something that's under 100 grand. And now you're,
Now,
you
now
know,
you're like 100 grand. That's what is that?
it's, yeah, right.
Not that
I
anybody's
don't know.
making a lot of money. It's just that doesn't seem to mean
Mm,
as much as it used to.
There's people making money. There's new buildings getting put up all the time. I mean, there's a lot of
Yep.
money to be had. It's just a matter of finding
What
the
you're willing to
avenue
give
to
up
get it.
and
Hell
what you're
yeah.
willing to give up to get it.
For some of the younger generation, I've had it where they walk into a place, a business, and they're like, well, you guys have all this, and they're like, it's almost the same thing as the house, but they feel like they should be farther in business and all this stuff. It's in professionalism. It's like a lot of this is learned. Uh, the the idea of like stepping back far enough to keep the longevity going of a business model, whether it's in cars or anything, like you got to zoom out a long ways. I mean, if you're zoomed in too far, you're going to lose track of what's going on, I think. And it's very broad as far as what we're talking about, but um, I think a lot of it is like this generation that's brought up on automatic validation with their cell phone. I've had a person in a collision shop before I started here, and she wanted to. It was like buffing a hood, and it was just paint correction stuff. But the first thing she wanted to do is put a piece of tape down so she can buff one side and then do a video of peeling it. First fucking thing. Don't even touch the buffer yet, and she's putting a piece of fucking tape down. It's like, well, you're not even here to learn. You just want to make a video and look cool. Like, I don't think it's gonna work.
These
And it
dang
didn't.
people on the internet making videos, they're the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's so true though. I mean, it is. It's like anybody and that's the hard part about trying to do something, uh, and put your name on it on social media and in any matter. I mean, there's people on that your suspension video were knocking you about your freaking ball joint. I'm like, you know how close ball joints are to tires on fucking stock cars? You ever looking on and see how close your strut is to your tire? You guys are idiots. Like that's a normal thing.
Yeah, I literally have more wheel offset now than stock, and that's a stock spindle and hub. So
That's
I'm
yeah,
literally not any closer than factory.
so stupid. So it's hard to put yourself out there and not like you have to expect idiots. It's to be expected. So that's the hard part. I don't know.
If okay, so let's go down that avenue. So people want to make a video and they want instant gratification. We're literally 5 minutes ago we're talking about how I'm taking a year of building a truck and filming footage and making a 5-minute video.
Right. Right. Yeah. No,
So
I
to
get it.
make a good
It's
5 minutes, I have
the
12
opposite.
months.
Yeah. And I mean, I love the editing part of it. If I could, like, if there's, I could see in another world of just sitting and editing. I can see it, but it gets like, I just get like in sitting in front of a computer. I can't, I like starting to see black after a couple hours. Even when I was when I was managing a shop and stuff like that, is just sitting in front of the computer. It's like, oh my God, I just got to go out in the shop and like swing a hammer at something for a little bit. I don't know. I think it's just the technician in me. It's not. I don't think it's anything other than that. Just like
I
being the technician being beaten into you from other shops.
yeah.
Like get something done. You're not doing anything.
Yeah, physical production feels more validating, I think, than,
Yeah.
um
Well, I don't think we were meant to. I don't think we were put on this earth to just. I mean, for one, be behind a screen, and two, work your ass off all day. We weren't. I mean, we were supposed to like hunt, gather food, and eat, and then sit on your ass for 9 hours. That's what we were supposed to do. That's what
around
they've
the
been doing
fire.
for the last 2,000, 200,000 years, probably.
Yeah, I agree. I have kind of made the thing I tell everybody like that wants to get into making videos, and I encourage everybody, is I tell them like film what you're already gonna do, and
Hmm.
then what I do is because I'm sure it's the dad in me, but I don't want to be a consumer, consuming, swiping. It's so easy to get stuck into that. So what I do is I take the time I'm doing things and then I film in whatever way is basically the easiest for me. Obviously that's stepped up and up and up along the over the years of making 2000 something videos, but I try to film in a way that isn't interrupting too much of what I'm doing. We all take a second step back and look at what we're doing. That just normally is a time for me to move the camera while we're working on something. And then I use my downtime, like when I got to come in, because it's Florida, I'll come inside and I'll sit on the couch and cool off for a little bit. I'll use that time to edit videos. And so I feel like I'm still being productive when I'm like sitting down and cooling off because I I
That's
think
fucking
I'm
cool.
I think I'm lazy like if I'm sitting around. So like if I can use that time to at least produce something, I feel, better about it because my crazy in me is I have to create. Not no, I don't mean create like be a creator on social media. I just mean in general. I need to be making something. I need to be fixing something. I need to be producing. Like that's my job. As
Right.
that's what the testosterone in me needs to be converted into creation. So That's what that so I use my downtime to edit. And so like if I have more downtime or it's crappier outside or I'm just too tired to work on something, I'll edit even more. And so like I'm just trying to convert energy into some sort of output, not just endless consumption.
I get that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So is there like if you had, let's say you had 100 grand, somebody was like, you need a,
I would say thank you.
no, you either get to buy, you either get to buy multiple cars or one car. And what is it? What is it slash what are they?
100 grand to buy a car. No, I can't. I can only spend this on the purchase of vehicles.
Well, let's just for the sake of, well, would you rather it be a done vehicle or a project? Let's
For
start
me,
there.
it would end up being a project.
You think so?
Maybe not like a severe project.
I think I would go like not a race car, but almost a race car. Like that's something that somebody's already kind of put together, probably.
If I had 100 grand and I could buy an actual trophy truck, maybe that's what I would do.
I just saw one. Actually, it wasn't that expensive, and there was one because in Wisconsin there's a lot of trucks. It wasn't that far away from here. It was definitely not road legal. I'm sure you could probably like wire, like make it road legal as far as like nobody's gonna fuck with you, but it was like 55 or something. It wasn't bad. Like as I honestly looked at it multiple times, I'm like, that looks really fun. Like, and to be able to get into something for 55 grand and not necessarily be like right into the competition, but be able to actually go around the track at Crandon, holy shit, that would be fucking fun. Like 55 grand to launch it, like, and you can launch it. Like it was that truck, you know?
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think I would, I would definitely be buying something
Oh, that was a Corvette.
street, heavy street. I don't think I would buy, if I had 100, I don't think I'd buy a car. It would have to be it would have to be, I don't even know. I don't think it would be, I mean, it would definitely be something quirkier than that.
Oh yeah.
If it's like I have the money and it's going to be, you know, I think like like a race car somebody already put together that you could modify for the street potentially, something like that.
If I had 100
Basically,
grand, I would go and get to that internet breaking car that we talked about, and I would sink 95 grand in it.
yeah, I could see that. The problem is some of the time. It's just you got to have the time to. I mean, you can buy 50 grand in parts and it's still nothing. Like
Oh yeah.
you can have 80 grand and it's still just parts on a shelf. It's not a car. So that's the hard part. It'd be cool to if you're gonna build something like Roadster Shop build or they have a not that I'm in love with Panteras, but they have a chassis for a Pantera. So you could fuck with a Pantera a little bit. That would be, mid-engine, that'd be pretty neat. Um,
I
but
love
if you I guess if
Panteras.
you had the money, you could have something scanned. That'd be pretty cool. Just have something really quirky scanned and have a chassis made for that. So I guess maybe 100. No, I would still buy something done. I'd still buy something done for sure. Yep. Even though it's that mid-engine factory 5 car. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna send you a picture. It's really good. They're pretty sweet. There was one for sale in I think it was like Milwaukee, and they wanted like 55 grand. It had an LS in it. It was really, really cool.
I don't think I've
But
looked at Factory 5 stuff in 10 years.
the only reason I mean, I've had a customer that had a factory 5 car that came, so I was contacting factory 5 as far as like body fitment stuff, and um, yeah, I mean, they're they were helpful on the phone, but the problems I was having were It was pretty hilarious. It was, um, we're having problems as far as like getting the body to fit up on the on the chassis far enough, and like the customer kind of threw it together and had me kind of. He's like, the body's ready for body work, and it was not finish mounted, and it was just like a lot, a lot. Um, and it was just a lot of body fitment issues as far as like I think it should be one thing, but it's a kit car, and you kind of have to. It's when they call it a kit car, and you're going into it thinking it's a regular car body. It's not. It's like it's very kit car ish. So you're just everybody's making their own way, getting things to fit their own way. Everybody's having their own. Um, there's people that just like buff the body and leave them raw, and there's like the bodies are rough. The seams are freaking like there was some the seams were like an inch tall, where the yeah, and you ground some of the seams you ground down and you were through because there weren't enough in the backing, like where they connected them. It was a fucking nightmare. I wasn't exactly a huge fan of factory five stuff, but I get it. The price is there. I mean, if a guy were to make it out of aluminum, it'd be another 60 grand. They don't get too much for those kits. And when you look at what they get for an aluminum bodied Cobra, it's a significant jump.
Well, aluminum versus fiberglass, there is a significant jump just
Well,
in every aspect.
exactly. And that's where it's the fit and finish of them. I mean, it's hard for, I would suspect it's pretty hard for a business to sell a car, have a following for it, but they don't necessarily finish them themselves.
Right. You
Like
almost have to offer finished ones also.
that's where I was just kind of really blown away that like, well, this they're telling me this is how you do it, this is how you do it, and this is how other shops do it, but they've never done it themselves. Like, come on. I mean,
So,
well, so they're like, well, yeah, I have done it myself in my garage. I'm like, okay, so what did you do? Well, I had to do this and I had to do that. Like, so everybody's got a different story and everybody's cars fit differently. Like, is it because the bodies come from South Africa and like they're just building these tube chassis and throwing them underneath of them? Like, I don't get it. It was like the body sits, the top of the body sits on a piece of flats. I think it's flat stock steel. It's got an arch in it with like a fun noodle, not a fun noodle, but it looks like that. Cut down the center with, just like foam down it, and the body just sits on that. There's no attachment points in the top. So the top of the body is just held by the windshield posts not moving it and the roll bar posts not moving sideways, side to side, and front to back, like from the top of the body point. Everything just
that's how they
even
ship
even
them, or
around
that's how
the
they
cabin.
expect it to be done?
Yeah, it's like there's no real like this is how it looks like or this is how it is finished. It's like no, it just all floats and hopefully it all lines up when you take it down the road. It's like I don't know how you can expect the doors to shut properly every time, and it's just very very chintzy.
Hmm. I mean, I don't want to speak bad on the company, but maybe maybe
So
they
that's a
do.
fiberglass body thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, every imagine if you had a steel body that you didn't mount properly. How's the doors going to shut every time if the aprons can move and you know what I mean? If the uniside wasn't connected to something
Mhm.
sturdy, imagine. But yeah, that's wild.
I
Florida's
think
the land of
the wildest part about those cars is there is zero steel structure from a side impact.
yeah, that's kind of scary.
Like even from where the main tubes that run down the chassis are right underneath of you. So if you were to get hit, it's directly into you. Like there's no it's if it's an actual hit, it's going through the body and it's hitting you and the frame rail almost at the same time. It's pretty nuts.
I can't imagine having anything that didn't have like reinforcement in the door and then at the rocker.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
That's kind of scary. After like dicking around on one and getting the body to fit, we got it to fit pretty decent. And then they got the roof. They got a roof from 427 hardtops. It's like a removable hardtop, and it makes the car looks ultra cocky. I've never seen a Cobra that I like. We put the roof on it and set back, and I'm like, dude, I want one. This is fucking cool. But there's limitations to that too. The aftermarket, it's like aftermarket on aftermarket, you know. But the
Right.
roof that we got from 427 hardtops was actually the nicest part of the whole vehicle. That was like the gel coat was literally like not even a nib in it. It was sand it down, put some surfacer down, and just paint it. Like it was ready to go. Like fucking nice.
As it should be.
Uh, yeah, right. But it was well, he told me how much it was, and it wasn't 20 grand, but it was over 10. You
For
know,
a roof?
including shipping. Yeah. But when you looked at it, you look at the inside. The inside had it wasn't just one layer of fiberglass. It had an inside layer that had in like a interior spray, like velvet interior sprayed on it.
Yeah.
It was the channel was there. It had all the latches, the side windows, the stainless, and another. I think it was like mock stainless, or I can't remember what it was for trimmer on the windows. There's like it was a whole kit. It was if you're going to get into a roof on a Factory 5 or a Cobra, I would not. The Factory 5 came out with that their own removable roof on the Mark 5 that they did, but it removes the wind. You have to take the windshield with it. So you're removing the windshield with the roof and then replacing and then putting a different windshield in it for convertible style, right? Well, this roof retains the windshield that Factory 5 has or your kit has. You sometimes have to deal with the angle difference. Um,
Right.
but you're just removing the roof. And man, it's ultra light. Like the only reason I can't lift it by myself is just because it's awkward. But like me and the wife lifting it off, super duper easy. It's like two latches, a couple screws, and you're like lifting it off. It's pretty awesome. Well, that's what I thought. Even well, we're talking about those Cobra bodies and the guy that's building Cobra bodies and he's trying to sell his business. If you did a Cobra with a roof and then a restyled front end and a rear end, like it's a whole different car at that point.
Right.
Like a whole different car. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
definitely.
they took a Austin Healey and restyled it, and then you had a Cobra, and it's a whole different car. You know what I mean?
You're
Originally.
not wrong. Mhm.
Um,
Wrong at all.
yeah, that's pretty wild. What's your thoughts on the Daytona coupes, the Shelbys?
I think they're pretty cool. I have a customer that has the guy with the Nash in the shop. His girlfriend has I don't know, somebody that he knows has a Factory 5 Daytona. And I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I think finding one that's done, I think would be beneficial. People think that they can buy this kit and they're going to put it together themselves. And there's a guy in town here that was doing a Cobra, and he thought he could paint the body off of the chassis and then just put it on. I'm
Oh,
like, dude, it's like a big flimsy piece of shit when you're having off the body. It's like a big just so
oh,
like I think it's gonna crack out. But anyways, back to that Daytona. They're cool cars, but they all need like I think because they're all kit cars and everybody has their own way of putting them together and finishing them. There's all different there's all different fit and finishes out there.
right.
So and everybody thinks that well this factory 5 was worth 55 grand, so mine should be worth that, right? And it's like so I mean I even offer if that customer I said at one time like if you want to sell that car, like I would definitely be interested in a Daytona. That'd be really cool, right? It's
I've always
blue
loved
and
them.
white. It's like the quintessential blue and white, and then on the back it's got half blue half white. It's cocky looking car with the right if you lowered it down with the right rims and tires it would be like really banging. um but he's like, well, she thinks it's worth that, and also like it needs this and it needs that. And I'm like, well, it doesn't sound like it's worth what you want. Like, yeah, I was like, well, yeah, I don't want to. No thanks.
I've um, I've just always loved the proportions and the slash cut back on them, like that. They're just so purpose
Hmm.
built. They're not like they don't follow the rules really. You know what I mean? As far as aesthetics go.
Right. I mean, Style wise, there are, I mean, they're really close to being, I don't think, to me, that's not exactly the lines. Like, it needs like another 3% of tweaking, I think, to make the proportions like perfect in my eyes. But man, I would drive the hell out of it.
Oh yeah.
And there's not a lot of Daytonas around, so even to just have one drive around, it's not like traffic. It doesn't look like traffic. It looks like what the fuck is coming down the road, you know?
Yeah, they're almost like a Jaguar E-Type. Uh, they're similar to that almost,
Yeah.
like the front end and the roof line.
Yeah, there's like old Ferrari in it too. I can see, there's a lot of stuff. I would drive it. I would love it. But I don't know if I want one for like, I don't know if a guy would like one for like, I think 55 grand it would have to be a nice version of it just because it's fiberglass and I'm a picky bitch as far as like fit and finish on a body if I'm going to be paying for something. I mean, that's probably still cheap, even if it was decent, if it's a legit drivetrain and stuff, I think 55 grand would probably be nice, but I don't know. It's me just being a cheap bitch too.
I mean, if it drove decent and the doors closed, that'd be one thing. I mean,
Yeah, for
well,
sure.
then at
And
least you got a good
he
foundation.
drives it here. He drives it here from like I think 45 or 50 minutes away. So I mean, he kind of complains about when he gets out though. But
That
I
just
mean,
might be his stance.
anybody that's used to like having automotive aesthetics gets into not a race car, but kind of a race car. It's kind of a different driving experience. It's going to be hot in
Yeah,
the summertime. Complaining about it being hot in the summertime in a car like that's like you should be
par for the
wearing less
course.
clothes, I think. Yeah. Put some shorts on, dude.
Get the little vents down by your feet where you crack them open when you're going on the highway.
Yeah, blows the shorts up.
It's not bad.
Right.
You appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, I would still entertain the idea of I still have a picture of it that I stare at once in a while. But I don't know. The last time I talked to you seems like it doesn't seem like it was very obtainable. But yeah, you never know.
You never know. Well, you don't have your 100 grand to whip out right yet, so.
No, I don't have it at all. Not at all. If I did, I'd be probably buying a property with the money, but what for a down payment. But yeah, I don't. It was just a hypothetical, Ethan. Get off my back.
Come on, man. I'm holding you to this.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah. I don't know. It'd be cool to buy a bunch of just buy like a couple of vehicles that are done, that you don't have to worry about. But seemingly 100 grand doesn't buy anything that's like ultra cool and nice.
Right.
Like Silverado's really not that nice anymore.
I have not. I've built a lot of stuff. I don't know that I've built anything that was ultra cool and nice for myself, but I've kind of come to realize over 20 years of grinding and cutting on stuff that I don't like. I like the option of driving stuff, but it seems like everything I build, I just like rarely drive it. To me it's like all the love is just put into working on stuff and staring at it. And
Yeah, I
I
mean,
like
to
I
me,
like
I
the
like
driving
the
experience
chase.
too. You like the what?
Like the chase of find like even the old car stuff, like trying to find like when I say old car stuff, I'm talking like 50s and older, like physically trying to find the right part. If you're trying to stay somewhat traditional, that's really fun
Oh
sometimes.
yeah.
And in swap meeting, trying to find that one needle in a haystack part, it's pretty fun. It gets exhausting, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I still like driving them more.
I don't know. I like driving them. I've realized now that I've got the truck together that I am just not that aggressive of a driver. I'm so like I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna hit this really fast, and I'll as soon as I'll like set the camera up, I'll hop in the truck, I'll hammer the gas, and like right as I come up to it, I'm like, brake, 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 turn.
It's not your trophy truck, man. You're not supposed to brake before you're supposed to hit it. You're supposed to foot down.
Yeah. The exhaust definitely after so I put headers on it when I put the motor in it, just some
Mhm.
stainless shorties. And then it doesn't have cats because they clogged up, and Florida doesn't test for anything. And then when I got rid of the majority of the exhaust and put the Flowmaster on there, it is a lot snappier on the bottom end.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
take the win there. But my kid and I picked him up from something the other day, and we were hitting a train track, and right as I was hitting it, he said something, and so like right at the apex of the train track, I slammed the gas, and it just made you feel a little light. You know what I mean? It was
Nice.
pretty fun. Got him excited.
That does sound pretty fun.
But I haven't quite gotten myself to send it into the air, but baby steps. Plus,
Baby steps.
kind of still testing everything. It's only got like 30 miles on the new suspension, so probably ease into it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
But
Yeah. Seen salts flying in this area now, and there's still people driving fucking. I seen a C8 convertible Friday driving around in salt. I mean, there's piles of salt on corner intersections. I seen yesterday we seen a 60, it was a small back window. So it had to be like a 67 C10, four-wheel drive, long bed, fully restored, fucking awesome paint, driving around in the salt. Old couple driving it, I'm like, they're living their best life. They don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty
whatever.
awesome. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, you know. You can complain about it all day long, but it's like, it's their money. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it about having fun anyways?
Yeah. I mean, when I seen it was like like an older couple, I'm like, I'm not even gonna like maybe like at first I pull up and I look over at my wife. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What are they doing? I look at the older couple. I'm like, they're just living
Hell
their
yeah.
best.
Yeah.
If it was some kid, I would have been like, you dumb prick.
I did a friend's square body, like a garage restoration on my friend's, and it was his dad's truck. It was a 78. And we just did everything factory. He even wanted like single stage, which I tried to talk him out of, but he wanted everything done. He didn't want it super perfect. He wanted it like a factory truck. Um, he wanted it like his dad's truck when his dad got, because his dad got like a year old or something like that. So we did that, and then I ended up having to deliver it in the salt, which I hated. But you know, he pretty much, or he picked it up, drove, and then there was a car wash like literally on his block, so he did the whole undercarriage wash and then put it in the garage. So
That's like the worst. That's like
on,
literally worse than I think that's the worst. You're driving it in salt and then you're getting it wet and pushing the salt into every crevice. Like it's the fucking worst. It's
yeah.
the worst. Like that's the worst.
But
Anyways, so
thankfully, this friend of mine is one of those lunatics that like takes waste oil and sprays it in all the
there you
door
go.
jams and stuff. So it's good and oiled down. I'm sure of it. But
When I was coming out of high school and working in shops, there's up in Medford, there was a guy that had 67 to 72 style truck. And it was like not, it wasn't like restored or anything, but it was all original and very solid. But it would drip. He had like a spray gun with oil in it, and he would just spray like it dripped oil everywhere, like literally out of every panel, inside of everything. It was dripping oil from everything. I can't imagine working on the thing. It had to been just like layers and layers of grease, but underneath it's all fresh and good. So
yeah, I had to do cab corners on this truck, and I can tell you that there was a lot of before I could weld anything, just like cleaning everything out, a lot of brake cleaner and wax and grease remover just to weld new panels on.
yeah, that's I mean, especially with some of these trucks where some of the body shops have done repairs before, that's usually the worst.
Yeah.
There was a shop in town that their idea of fixing your wheel well rust was cutting it out, putting rust proofing on it, and then getting a big enough flare to just put over the top and then leave it rust proofed and open because that's not gonna do it. It's not gonna get worse then.
Oh,
Yeah, cutting the whole box side loose is a fucking good idea.
yeah. They don't need to be stuck together at that wheel arch.
Yeah, you cut the rusty box side apart and then it lasts longer, right? Come on, guys. They would glue everything too. They wanted me to glue rockers and cab corners, like you're flanging the edge, gluing and riveting, countersinking rivets. Yeah, dude. It's like a whole, like trying to wrap your mind around what other shops want you to do sometimes is like, what? You can see why the industry is where it is.
Yeah.
Like you're just trying to get this thing down the road. Like I understand you're just trying to glue this car together and you think it's going to last longer because you're not creating corrosion problem with welding. Well, when rust gets behind it and starts pushing it loose, it pops the whole fucking thing off. I personally know of a guy that glued rocker panels on his truck. At one point, shut the door and the rocker panel fell on the ground. So their solution after that was put rivets in it so it doesn't do that. Like, so it
Oh,
all breaks loose and still like, it's not the answer. Like, come on.
I worked at a body shop where the top flat rate tech bedsides, he would tack weld four corners and the rest is just weld bonded.
There's a guy I know that would paint them before gluing them on. That's a, that's honestly a sadly a common practice is
That's insane.
painting sides and then gluing them on. That's nuts to me.
That's wild just to think
Yeah.
about.
Yep. Absolutely nuts.
Hmm. This is really taking a turn.
Well, there's a large push for I can't remember what insurance company just pushed for it, but for OE standards because the insurance companies are pushing their standards as far as like, well, 3M says their glue can do this, and 3M says it's stronger than weld and this and that. So they're going by these aftermarket guidelines of repairing it. Well, the Eagle Collision lawsuit in Texas has brought forth all these issues as far as what is the repairer responsible for. If a roof comes off of a car from a repair, who's responsible for it? Is it the shop that did it, or is it the insurance company that delegated the repair? Well, it's honestly on the shop. So now your shops are putting their foot down saying we need to do all these OE repairs as far as if there's a procedure, we need to be following it because if something happens, the liability gets pushed to them, not you, not us, it's them. So there's a large push for that and it needs to happen. But all of the things that need to happen in the auto insurance industry are just going to farther push rates. Like it's just going to make things ultimately more expensive. So it's just like pushing inflation farther than it needs to go in my eyes. I mean, to a certain extent, it's just in insurance companies being greedy. That's my personal opinion. When they don't pay for a physical primer on an estimate, that's fucking bananas to me.
Everybody,
That's the
yeah.
truth. In central Wisconsin, it says repair on an estimate. That it says, let's say it's a dent, like it's whatever size dent, and they say it's a 5-hour repair. Well, if you go and dig deep into what all of that means, and you're gonna go into what they call P pages and like figure out what does a repair mean, it means taking the dent out and getting it into filler work up to 100 grit.
A
That's
hundred.
their definition. So it's not feathering anything out. It's not priming it. It's not the cost of the primer. So then we started introducing feather block and prime. So that's paying for all those actions. So now you're trying to educate an industry that doesn't even know what the hell fixing a car looks like. It's maddening.
Yeah. Well, insurance companies aren't as profitable if they're paying everything out. So their business model
Well,
generally is to not.
that's I the only pushback I have to that is every CEO wants. I had a list on my desk of all the CEOs, how much money they made more than the year before. So when I have Progressive calling me and telling me they can't afford to pay for primer and denib and finesse and the clear coat on a job, they're telling me they can't afford it. I'm like, dude, your CEO just made 10 million more this year than he did last year. And because of things like this. So it's either you pay us this and you're boss fights, and now he's paying you, your boss, the boss ahead of that, to all get your heads together and figure out why you're not paying us, and then ultimately say you're not going to pay for it anyways. That ultimately is more expensive than you just paying us. Like, just pay it. That's it. It's easy. I understand the body shops in the 80s and early 90s had it dicked, and they just kind of fucked with. That's the reason why the insurance company position, the body shops are in the position they're in. But boy, it's fucking bad. like when even when there was a body shop in Medford that they had their shit together. They had their rates were right. They actually got Progressive out of the area because they were giving basically saying they're not they weren't paying for the things they need to pay for, and they were pushing the cost of the customer. And then it got so far down the line that Progressive actually were almost phased out of the area. But when that shop changed hands to the Sun, it was like starting over with these insurance companies. So it's like it's just fight after fight after fight with these people, and it's fighting over things that are just literally ridiculous.
Yep.
Like you don't need that good of a part. Like buying junkyard stuff from literally all over the country. We got to get off this insurance company deal. To me, they're just investment companies. That's not an insurance company. They don't insure shit.
Engage, rage, rant, engaged.
Yeah, I can't stand it. Like there's when you get into the morality of what they're doing and what they're supposed to be doing and what they actually do, it's not. It's I mean, in any insurance company, it doesn't seem like you can say one thing, but you're going to contract your way out of it and fuck around anyways.
So,
Car, dude.
what are you working on this week?
I think we're gonna go. I gotta talk to customer, but I think we're gonna fit some time in on the Model A, get some of that roof welded together. I have a lot less welding to do on it now. I can't remember. It's like I don't know how many feet of welding last time. So I just have the roof seam across the back, some spot welds, and then finish everything out. And then I can get moving on to the bottom of the quarter panels, the wheel openings, the flanges remade, and the body line in the back. The bottom of the quarter panels in the back, but trunk where they meet the trunk and all that, it's all fucked up. So I don't know. I wish they made just quarter panels for it that we could just buy quarter panels and put them on, but what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Make
I
some, weld it in.
I think all I have planned is I'm gonna go through and bleed my brakes again. I was messing with the proportioning valve, and there must have been some air built up in the rear brakes, but since I had it kind of closed off, that it didn't go
Oh,
through
sure,
right
sure, sure,
away.
sure.
So I was messing with my proportioning valve the one day, and then all of a sudden, brakes got real squishy. So they work at the bottom of the pedal; they work great, but I think there's just got to be some air trapped in there. But when you tear a lot of it apart, you kind of have to fight some air bubbles, especially if you're just bleeding manually. I might actually go borrow a vacuum setup and just suck it all out. But
I with my car here, I accidentally put the calipers on upside down, so that was pretty fun.
so the bleeders
Like,
are on
why
the
are
bottom.
the brakes look like shit? No, you put them on upside down. Oh, fucking ding ding.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that, and then I'm just gonna try to drive this thing and hopefully get some better action shots. I don't know. I got to break it in, get comfortable just pounding on it.
You can do like have your wife go down just down the highway and shit, and just like flat foot it next to her or stuff like that. That'd be pretty great. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not super loud. For whatever reason that 4.7 liter V8 is like pretty mellow mannered, but it sounds good. Like it's throaty, it's healthy, but it's not like a small block Chevy screaming loud. You know what I mean? So even when I had it straight pipe, when I was doing the exhaust, you have to anytime you're doing an exhaust on your own vehicle, you always have to start it up straight pipe and hear it. Or as like I like to call it the no masters, starting it up with the no masters on it. But it's just really not that loud. It was kind of funny when I switched the engine out. I went from the log style stock manifolds to the they're not equal length, but I put headers on it, and it is the amount of noise at from the exhaust or like at the engine is so much quieter now because it's just smooth. It's like the exhaust
Sure.
pulses aren't fighting each other, so there's less like turbulence in the header, and so it's smoother and quieter. But yeah, I want to do some like driving. I told my friend we would put the suction mount on the side of his truck, and he can just chase me down the road, and I'll just.
Sure.
The area we live in has a lot of like four wheeler and side by side trails right in the neighborhood. So you can be driving on the
Oh,
road
that's cool.
and there's like a sand trail right next to it, kind of like not at all like California or the desert ones where they're driving on the highway and the guy's hitting like all the
Right.
whoops right next to it. But we have a milder, softer sand version of that. And then I want to do some of those, and yeah, like where the camera's on the back of the vehicle, and then my truck, like I throttle up and then pass them
Right.
and stuff like that. Now the
You have to
fun
have
starts
your
instead
kid
of
hanging out
just
the window.
yeah. The action camera I bought specifically for being able to do rollers because you can it's handy. You can take the screen in the back and flip it up. So I could have this hanging down six on a like stick 6 inches off the road, and I can flip the screen up to however I want, so I can see what I'm filming.
What's happening? Oh, that's cool.
Whereas like a GoPro, it's just on the back or on the front.
You can't
Sometimes
see
they have
what's
a front screen.
happening.
So I got that for this, and then I want to do a bunch of shots like that. Right, I've been in for the year last year I've been in like the trudge mode of just like trucking along, building the truck and getting it to a place, and now it's like people pull up and they're like, "Whoa, you have a trophy truck in your driveway." I'm like, not really, but it's pretty sweet." And then
Certainly looks like it, don't
anytime I like have the hood flipped open and it's like the big flip front end and it's tipped forward, everybody always gets a
it?
kick out of that. But
Yeah.
what it needs to really set it off is a roll cage and a V12, I think.
You don't need a roll cage. What the hell are you gonna do with a roll cage? That's like
Stiffen the
worst case scenario.
just to stiffen the chassis up.
Yeah, I guess.
That's really what it's about. It's not so much about I'm gonna roll my vehicle over. It's more so because I mean, realistically, the a truck cab is designed to take a rollover slightly. You know what I mean? But no,
Like
I'm
more than like a 60s muscle car, definitely.
oh yeah.
you know.
So basically, I want to do the engine cage because I want to get rid of the aprons because they just severely limit my suspension movement where the wheels can tuck. Um, so I want to get rid of the aprons, do an engine cage, and mount the core support. Probably do a bigger radiator. Well, I won't have a radiator up there if I do a V12, but um, I want to do that just for suspension clearance, and then you just cage it at the cab and everything just to stiffen the chassis up because the Tundra doesn't have a box chassis the whole way through, so there is
Mhm.
some wiggle to it
Sure.
if you're really pounding the hell out of it. But in time, that's phase two. We're
Well, I don't
only
think there's
about
any truck that you drive that if you're going through some whoopee shit and you look in the mirror that your cab isn't flexing to your box. I mean, shit's
yeah.
moving.
Oh yeah. So baby steps. I don't know if I'm gonna just drive mine and then start really going ham on my kid's truck, or I don't know. I sent out some
It's
feelers to a couple
Yeah.
to an importer for an engine. We'll see where that
Oh yeah, you
goes.
hear back?
Not yet,
You didn't hear
but
back yet?
I sent a follow-up email on Friday. We'll see. I'll have to call him at some point, but we'll get there. So maybe I'll go
You're gonna,
heavy on my kid's
you're gonna
truck and
call
then
him and
just
then you're
enjoy
like,
mine.
you real?
Hi, this is Ethan from Terra Shark TV. No.
I am real.
You may have heard of
This
us
is
from
nuts.
the painting our fingers with spray paint videos.
Where can they find you, man?
You can find me everywhere. At Terry Shark TV, YouTube's the big one, TikTok, if you want to leave mean comments, Instagram, and Facebook. I think I'm on like Rumble or something. Somebody wanted me on there a while ago, and I think I
Mhm.
posted a couple videos, but just go to YouTube. It's it's really the greatest there is.
Rumble. What is that, like Grinder?
No, it's like YouTube without community guidelines.
Whoa, that sounds sketchy.
But whatever. Somebody from them, like one of their people, reached out to me and was like, "Hey, you should post some videos on Rumble." I did. Then they're like, "Oh, we'll push them and all that stuff." They didn't. So I have this thing where somebody tells me they're going to do something, they don't do it. I'm kind of like, "Okay, I see you." But
Yeah,
yeah,
true story.
where can they find you?
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Here.
Here. Yeah, you guys can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Mm-hmm. Well, have a good week fucking with cars, honey buns.
Yeah, all of you. You're all our honey buns. You can go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/F_CKINGCARS. And just for $5 a month, you can get all of our podcasts in video format, extra bloopers at the end, so you can get a little bit more feel. You can see some of the things we're working on, even some of our more inappropriate moments, and help support the channel. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification so you get notified every week when we post a new episode.